Okay, still within our AfPIF highlights, I'm pleased to be speaking with Dewole Ajao. Dewole has had a very illustrious career in the tech industry in Nigeria. He was previously with the Bandwidth Consortium, and now he's with Google. But I'll let Dewole tell us a bit about what he has done so far. So Dewole, it's a pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure to meet you.
All right, so can you tell us a bit about what you have done at Google now, what you did historically over the last couple of years?
Okay, so maybe we start with what I'm doing now.
Okay.
At Google, I'm a network acquisitions specialist.
Okay.
Working on infrastructure as well as peering and interconnection, which is basically how Google's network connects to other networks to deliver traffic more efficiently, more reliably, and also cheaper for the network operators, also cheaper for us. So we do that on one side, and then another part of our peering and interconnection is the caching devices that we place with large enough network operators to deliver serve traffic faster.
And better latency. Obviously.
Yes, much better latencies than sending it over the upstream. Okay. And that practically is one of the reasons why we attend these peering forums, where we can meet with a network operator, partner network operators, because our content doesn't live on its own. It needs to get to the end users. Prior to Google, I've done, as you said, Bandwidth Consortium, which is a research and education effort, and primarily was around aggregating the demand from higher education institutions, as well as centralizing technical support and operations so that these institutions could get access cheaper and faster than they could from traditional network operators. And between the Bandwidth Consortium and now, I did some data center go-to-market strategy, as well as fiber to the premises for a short period.
So you have quite extensive experience touching on some of the biggest verticals, connectivity, a bit of wholesale, a bit of maybe not retail.
Some retail, yeah.
Some retail, okay. Retail, then data centers and colocation, cloud, and so on. And now network acquisition for Google. And there's been a lot that Google has done over the last couple of years. We can clearly see that 10 years ago, accessing Google traffic was not as easy and as efficient as it currently is. And obviously that's due to some of the local caching and local partnerships you have done. Can you tell us a bit more? So there's now some conversation around data sovereignty, hosting local data, and I know Google is also a part of those conversations. I know Google is also in that conversation set up by the government. So how is that going?
Well, it's going okay. Yes, there is the tendency sometimes from governments to say, oh, data sovereignty, we want our data to be local and locally hosted. The initial direction from the government entities was an attempt to force localization of data, but the good thing is that the way things have worked historically in Nigeria is that when the government has ideas, they reach out to stakeholders to say, hey, this is what we want to do. And so it's that opportunity that they've given to the industry to give feedback. What has now put us in the current process where we are, where players like us, as well as the data centers and network operators, are explaining that data needs to be classified, so you know what you have absolute control over, on which you can say, okay, by fiat, and saying, bring this one in. But for the rest of it, there are business cases that have to be made. So if it's going to cost you X $100 million as an entity to bring a data center or to bring your infrastructure into the country, into existing data centers, then there must be a business case that makes sense for that.
For the hyperscaler.
Yeah. Okay. So I think where we are today is that folks are providing guidance to say, this is how it has worked in other places.
Okay.
This is what we can do as Nigeria, and then also explore, really, is there a market to to encourage people to come and deploy like that. If there is not a market, or if the market is not large enough, what can Nigeria do
To scale up.
to exactly help that scale up? Which includes even trying to get neighboring countries to
So they
buy
pool.
into such infrastructure. So yeah, that process is ongoing. NITA has a technical committee in place looking at all of these parts and also looking at the policy parts. So we're looking at the technical parts of it, but there are others who are policy experts who are looking at the policy side of things, so that at the end of the day we end up with something where businesses are happy to come and do business in Nigeria, not like we forced you to bring
Because
this
there are some
in.
incentives and some.
And just because the
enabling
environment makes sense,
Yeah,
the policies
yeah.
are clear,
Yeah.
you're not thinking you put in money today and then something else happens. So I think we will get there. We're getting closer to it.
Okay, so I want to take a step back into the broader connectivity business in Africa.
Okay.
So we're here. Stats, maybe about 40% internet penetration, which is largely mobile. Fixed is a lot less. And we just had a quick chat inside us about some of the challenges. So what do you think can be done? I'm not going to say there's what the silver bullet is, but what are the things that we can put in place? What do operators need to do? What do regulators need to do? What do both of them need to do? What do investors, what do we all need to do to get Africa moving? Because we know, we have realized there's a market here. The population indicates there's a market. The demand in case there's a market. We have young people. So obviously there is something that can happen here, but it's not happening as quick as it should. Though there's been some progress, but what needs to be done now at this point?
I wouldn't say I know exactly what needs to be done, but things have happened, right? The industry has been growing, but the country as a whole, if we were to take Nigeria and probably even a couple of other African countries, the region as a whole has taken some hits, economic setbacks. And the nature of what we do in the industry means that we're sourcing a lot of things in foreign currency, but we're getting paid for these things in local currency. So that gives, like, it hits really hard. So, and put that on one side, because that's very different from all the other challenges of operating within the environment. So the financial, the currency exchange is part of it. Okay, we hope that we'll survive and we get back on track. That might mean that people need some more latitude in terms of how they can price their products to be realistic to the costs of the inputs. So that's one side. The other side of it is generally the environment in which we operate. What are the costs of operating? How efficient are things? What does it cost me to get from point A to point B in terms of maybe fiber network or whatever it is? Is that the most efficient that I can get to in terms of reaching from one point to the other? Can I collaborate with other players such that it's a fraction of the cost? Like, you're staying in a multi-tenant dwelling unit. The cost of the security guard is the same. If you're there alone, you carry it alone. But if there are multiple of you, then it becomes a fraction for everyone. So that's the kind of thing. So if we start to see some form of synergies in terms of transport, in terms of even securing the assets that we put on the ground for network operations, that would help us move faster. Capacity building, and if we look at the AfPIF, we look at NGPIF, NGNOG, all of these gatherings that we have where we bring network operators together. A lot of the time, the inefficiencies come from people not knowing what they could be doing. So everybody who is here now, who's paid attention and has learned more about peering and interconnection, can find out that it's possible for network operator A and network operator B to be able to exchange traffic to the tune of gigabits or terabits without paying some upstream provider to do it. That's an efficiency that would then help that kind of operator say, okay, you know what, I can actually give you service for cheaper than what I charged you last year because I've been able to do this. And then the relationships that are built in fora like this would help you know, okay, this is one way that we could be doing this more efficiently than the other one. What are the opportunities that exist? So all those things. I think a lot of the work has to do with community building and collaboration, a lot of it. And then even when you get to challenges that may be coming from regulation, when you and I know that we can share insights with the regulator, we have the regulator here as well, Nigerian regulator, and then a couple of other regulators are here. We teach the regulators, they know more about what's going on. Then they
have better clarity.
Yeah, and then the regulations make more sense to enable people to do business. So no silver bullets.
No, but this has been very good. Thank you very much, Dewole.
Thank you very much. Take care now.
Yeah.